Alright, I'm back. I just had a catastrophic failure on my computer. So this is going to be two videos. Hopefully I can splice them together somehow, but I was picking out a story I wanted to use in my examples. Let's go with the selfish giant. So we're going to go copy, and then we'll go here and we'll do notepad Easter story .txt. Okay, and then we got our Easter story saved in there. Alright, so now let's go back to the example. And import, first thing we'll do is import pathlib. Okay. Okay, now we've got to give it a path. Okay, so it's going to be Easter story dot txt, and then okay, there we go. So let's do path dot read text. Oops, so it looks like we got a problem here. Oh, you know what? It's txt. I named it. There we go. So now path dot read text. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what happened there. That's weird. Looks like it's got a character in it that it didn't recognize. It looks fine to me. I don't know what character would be in it. Okay, maybe it needs to be a Python file. I don't get why this is not working. So it's not working because there's a Unicode decode error. CarMap decode can't decode this. So let's take a look at this. So here's the bread and butter of what you'll be doing on the job. Let's see what this means here. Okay. There's an invalid Unicode error. Oh, okay. So you can change the encoding. I think by default it's trying to do like the path you need. Yeah. So let's try this. There we go. And now let's try path.read text. Oh. So it looks like it's using like car map. Yeah, I don't know. Let's try it on a Python file. How about a Python file? Let's try it on a Python file. Not sure how to run it on a Python file. So we'll skip that and we'll run it on a Python file. There we go. So it had to be a Python file, basically, in order to be used by pathlib. Okay, so let's read it in as binary. So we'll do read bytes. There we go. And we see we've got this B here, even though the rest of it looks the same. We know that this is binary and this is not. To read binary data, use the path.readBytes method. When you want to overwrite a file or write a new file, there are methods for writing text and for writing binary data. Now here's where it's getting interesting, because you can have a file that you change on your system. So like you can create like a logging file or something. So let's do that. Okay, we'll do sp.config. There we go. Dot write text. Okay. And then oh, I'm not sure what happened here. It looks like they redefined it to just be sp instead of sp.config, but they got an out. I don't think you get an out when you do that, so I don't know what they're trying to do here, but it just seems like a typo. Like there's some errata needed in this book. I mean, that's okay. I'm not gonna fault a book for having some errata in it, and so far there's only been two small things, one like a grammatical thing, and then this appears to be another thing, but we can move on. Reading and writing using the file objects read and write functions is usually adequate for unstructured text, but what if you are dealing with more complex data? The JavaScript object notation, JSON, format is widely used to store simple structured data in modern web services. It uses two data structures, a mapping of key value pairs similar to a Python dict, and a list of items similar to a Python list. It defines data types for numbers, strings, booleans, which hold true, false values, and nulls, empty values. The AWS Identify and Access Management (IAM) web service allows you to control access to AWS resources. It uses JSON files to define access policies, as in this example. So here's where, unfortunately, Amazon Kindle is a bit limited for me, because I'd like to just paste this in. But I can't do that. Maybe if I hit note, or if I hit, yeah, let me try highlighting this text here, and then hitting note. Yeah, and see, I can't, like it doesn't, it just applies a note to that text. You can't take that text from the book. You have to, yeah, you have to type it out if you want a copy of it, or use some sort of pixel analyzer to copy it. You can't just highlight it. You could use the standard file object read or readlines methods to get the data from such a file. There we go. So with, okay, but this result would not be immediately usable, as it would depend as it would be a single string or list of strings, depending on your chosen read method. So definitely not as good using the standard. Yeah, I know what they're getting at. So what you would do is you would import a Python library, built-in, included, standard, and any Python you have. You don't have to do anything special to get it, called the JSON library. You would then need to parse this string or strings into data structures and types that match the original, which may be a great deal of work. A far better way is to use the JSON module, import JSON. This module parses the JSON format for you, returning the data in appropriate Python data structures. So this, I'm not going to type out the examples. I do this so often. It's really easy. It's just, well, you know what? Why don't I just do it? Because it's so easy. There's no point in just skipping it. So with open. Oh, but I don't have a JSON file I can test this out on. But anyways, it's just that same syntax we used before to open a file. But before you do that, oops. Okay, yeah, before doing that, you'd have to do import JSON. And then now you can call JSON.load open file. And now you have a JSON payload instead of a, oh, actually, you're not going to have a JSON payload, you're going to have a Python dictionary. Oh, I got a sore throat all of a sudden. From pprint, import pprint. Yeah, so, oh yeah, and then pprint makes it so that it prints out really nice. Let's get some JSON. And my computer is overheating, so it's acting really badly right now. And I lost the first part of this video. Hopefully I can just splice it together though. I doubt that's going to be easy though. Nothing's easy. And my throat is starting to hurt too. Here we go, plain JSON data. Oh, here we go. So here's some JSON data we can play with. So we'll copy this, go back to our terminal. We'll do add JSON play.json. There we go. So now we've got our JSON to play with. So we'll do this. Go back to this example. So with open JSON play.json, and we already imported JSON, so we won't need to do that again. R as opened file, policy equals json.load opened file. Okay, so let's see what policy is. Policy is a dictionary, so let's take a look at the keys that belong to policy. There we go. So now let's do import pprints like they had, and we'll do pprints policy. There we go, and now it's printed out nice and clean for us using pprint. If we were just to use regular print, you can see instantly why you would want pprint. All your keys are aligned when you use pprint and on their own lines. So let's take a look at what else they had here. So don't need to worry about that. Okay, keep going. The pprint module automatically formats Python objects for printing. its output is often more easily read and is a handy way of looking at nested data structures. Now you can use the data with the original file structure. For example, here is how you would change the resource whose access this policy controls to S3. So policy, statement, resource. Yeah, so let's try a similar exercise. We're going to change the measurement integer value here from 14 to 15. So to do that, it would be policy, and then the name of the key we want to change. We want to change this key here and see person average measure. So we want to change the value of that key. The value of that key is a dictionary. So, but within that dictionary, we want to change a value of a key in the dictionary that is a value of this key. So we've got to specify the key in the nested dictionary, which is right there. Okay, and now we can overwrite the value from 14 to 15. So let's print out that again. And now we've got, oops, it looks like I accidentally did it wrong. So let's undo the mistake here. So we're going to go get rid of that extra key I created. You can see I accidentally used the name of this key instead of the name of that key. So we can do the DEL to get rid of that. You can see we're back to normal now. And now we can go back here and use the correctly named key. Okay, and now we should have everything perfect. Yep, 15. You can write a Python dictionary as a JSON file by using the json.dump method. This is how you would update the policy file you just modified. Yep, so now we can save our JSON data. We can overwrite the JSON file we made called oh, I forget what we named it. I think JSON play.json. So if we just do with open JSON play, yep. I mean, it auto-completes. It's so nice. Such a nice terminal. As opened file. Now, even though we have a dictionary, we can still write the dictionary out as a JSON, as long as we use our JSON library that we imported before, and we use the dump method. That's how you convert a dictionary to a JSON file, to valid JSON. To convert JSON to a dictionary, you use loads. And we saw that up here. Sorry, load. Okay. Another, and I can print that out. So dir, or sorry. And there we go, we've got 15 instead of 14 now. Another language commonly used in configuration files is YAML. YAML ain't markup language. It is a superset of JSON, but has a more compact format using white space similar to how Python uses it. So YAML is just JSON, but in a format that's considered more human readable. Ansible is a tool used to automate software configuration, management, and deployment. Ansible uses files, referred to as playbooks, to define actions you want to automate. These playbooks use the YAML format. Okay, and I have a series on Ansible that I did earlier called Mastering Python Networking, but unfortunately I decided not to continue on with that. I just wasn't a big fan of the book. It didn't have a table of contents and I wanted to do this one instead, so that is what I'm doing. I might go back to the other one when I'm done with this, but I'm focusing on this book instead of the other one. The most commonly used library for parsing YAML files in Python is PyYAML. It is not in the Python standard library, but you can install it using pip. Okay, let's do that. So really nice, pip install py. I don't even have to use my, leave my terminal to use pip because of that exclamation point. So nice. Once installed, you can use PyYAML to import and export YAML data, much as you did with JSON. Oh, okay. That makes sense. That's yeah. So, yep. And then let's do that. So now that we have it, we can do import YAML, and now we can open YAML data the same way. We can convert it to a dictionary. We can convert it from a dictionary back to YAML, and because we can convert it to a dictionary, we can use all of our Python tools and codes and tricks without having to treat it specially as YAML data. We can treat it just as we would treat any other Python dictionary because we're using the YAML library to convert it to an actual dictionary. So even though it's YAML, even though it's JSON, it's just a dictionary if you use the libraries, and then you will need to convert it back to YAML or JSON if you want it to be used as such. But in the intermediate time, you don't have to worry about learning perhaps a whole nother way to handle your data. You can just handle it like a Python dictionary. The data loads as familiar Python data structures, a list containing a dict. So, yeah, so we can, yeah, so it's just a, oh, okay, well that's interesting. I didn't know that. So it looks like it's actually a list. It converts it to a list, but it converts it to a list containing a dictionary. I thought it only converted it to a dictionary, but it looks like the YAML one does it a little bit differently. I'm not sure what the safe load is. You can also save Python data to a file in YAML format. Okay. Yep, so just like the JSON format, you can convert it back to YAML and save it after you have modified it as a Python dictionary by loading it using that library. Another language widely used for representing structured data is Extensible Markup Language, XML. It consists of hierarchical documents of tagged elements. Historically, many web systems used XML to transport data. One such use is for real simple syndication, RSS feeds. RSS feeds are used to track and notify users of updates to websites and have been used to track the publication of articles from various sources. RSS feeds use XML formatted pages. Python offers the XML library for dealing with XML documents. It maps the XML document's hierarchical structure to a tree-like data structure. The nodes of the tree are elements, and a parent-child relationship is used to model the hierarchy. The top parent node is referred to as the root element. To parse an RSS XML document and get its root, you've got to import another library. This one, I believe, is part of the standard Python library, so you won't need to do a pip install. Let's see if I've got it. I've got it. So yeah, we don't have to do a pip install for XML. It's part of your standard library because it's the one that is more commonly used and historically has been used the most. but that's not entirely true. I'd say YAML and JSON are more commonly used intentionally at the present, but historically you'll be dealing with a lot of XML if you look at things that aren't totally modern. You can walk down the root. You can walk down the tree by iterating over the child nodes. So for child and node, we can iterate through it. XML allows for namespacing using tags to group data. XML prepends tags with namespaces enclosed in brackets. If you know the structure of the hierarchy, you can search for elements by using their paths. You can supply a dictionary that defines namespaces as a convenience. Okay. Authors root.findAll. So I'm not sure what root is. I don't see where that was defined. Maybe it was defined back here. Oh yeah, it was. Root equals, okay, so it's a method of that. I'm kind of lost here, but I don't really plan to be doing a lot with XML. So I'm just kind of gonna gloss this over and try to move on. You may find yourself dealing with data stored as comma separated values, CSV. This format is common for spreadsheet data. You can use the Python CSV module to read these easily. Now this is where they've kind of lost me, because I don't think it's hard to read comma separated values without using the CSV library, but maybe, I don't know, maybe this is something I actually might want to get a little bit more comfortable using. Let's see, CSV data download. Okay, here we go. So let's download some stats. So there should be some free stats we can download here. Business employment data, let's get that. Okay, so we'll save it under C drive, users. There we go. And now my project, yep, that's where I am now. So we'll save it there, and then we'll go to show in folder, unzip it, okay, and now I'll take the actual file, move it in there, and then we can get rid of this. Okay, so now we've got a file to play with. Or let's do a rename. Okay. And now we can play along with what is in the example here. Okay, you can see here's a, yeah, you can see here's another Oh wait, never mind. No, they did it. They did it right. I thought they made an error because I thought the with statement was ending here, but and that they forgot the colon, but they're just defining a variable there. I was wrong about that. Okay, so now we've got our the first 5 fields in our data we've got printed out here. The CSV reader object iterates through the .csv file one line at a time, allowing you to process the data one row at a time. Processing a file this way is especially useful for large .csv files that you do not want to read into memory all at once. Oh, okay, so there you go. That's the... See, I never understood why you would want to use the CSV library instead of just doing a with open on the CSV file and just you know, have it be like a list or like even just a large string. But now I understand. You would do it because you were trying to be a good programmer and worry and be concerned with how much memory you were using and stuff. Of course, if you need to do multiple row calculations across columns and the file is not overly large, you should load it all at once. The pandas package is a mainstay in the data science world. It includes a data structure, the pandas data frame, which acts like a data table, similar to a very powerful spreadsheet. If you have table-like data on which you want to do statistical analysis or that you want to manipulate by rows and columns, data frames is the tool for you. It is a third-party library, so you need to install it with pip. You can use a variety of methods to load data into the data frames. One of the most common is from a .csv file. Okay, perfect. So now we can use the file we had before, but using pandas instead of .csv to open it. Oops, we don't have, oops. So if I do import pandas right now, I don't have pandas installed, so we gotta do a pip install first. All right, moving on really fast. Oh man, my just all of a sudden out of nowhere, my throat started. It's not hurting, but it feels like really. It feels like I'm going to get like really sick soon. It feels like I'm not sick now, but I will be sick later. Like. There's soreness, I guess is the way to describe it. Like I can't swallow without there being soreness in my throat. I think I just need to clean up in here. That's why I'm getting sick. I can do that. Okay, it looks like we're installing the collective packages. We downloaded everything, but now we've got to actually install it as well. And we're done. That takes a lot faster. All right, so let's import pandas as PD. All right, and then let's get a data frame. df equals data frame equals PD, standing for pandas. Read CSV, and now I forgot what the data was named, so let's find that. There we go. So let's see what we got. We have a pandas data frame, pandas.core.frame.data frame. You can take a look at the top rows of your data frame using the head method. That's kind of nice. You can get a statistical insight using the describe method. Okay. Huh. That looks pretty. Alternatively, you can view a single column of data by using its name in square brackets. Oh, cool. And then do we have all the columns? So here's the close column. Oh, it looks like we have series reference, series title, we have period. Let's take a look at the series reference column. There we go. Pandas has many more methods for analyzing and manipulating table-like data, and there are many books available on its use. It is a tool you should be aware of if you have need to do data analysis. You know what? I kind of do have need to do data analysis because I have on my GitHub. There's a project I've been working on here, Juggling Coach, where I get data based on. I have a demo of it on my other channel, but I wonder if I could use pandas for that and get further on that, because I kind of have abandoned that a bit and I want to get back to it. So this is using regular expressions to search text. I'm going to end it here. When I come back, we'll be doing that. Let's see, do I have okay, I have a bookmark there. So yeah, so this is where I'm going to end it. I just need to take a break, and I've been going for over an hour. My last video, this is going to be, my computer like messed up, so even though this has only been 38 minutes, I had another video that was about 30 minutes, so I've been going for about an hour and I need a break. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.